Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Trippy Commentaries. Thanks for joining up for the video. Today we have Trippy Mike join up to dive deeper into the Epsilon. What's happening, Mike?
Yo, what's going on, guys? Glad to be here for the video.
Yeah, there's a couple messages that we've been looking at that really have us thinking. Maybe something deeper than any of you are willing to go. Mike, what do you think about the Epsilon? Considering it seems like they control everything in Los Santos, I find them a little bit scary.
Definitely scary in this game as far as that's concerned. I mean, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with. And, sort of reminds me of, someone in our backyard here in Clearwater that has their headquarters. I won't mention any names.
I mean, it seems like their leader, Chris Formage, has some sort of spiritual ability. Maybe he knows aliens. I don't know. Let us know in the comments section below what you guys believe. There's definitely a lot to be said about the Epsilon. But like I said, there's a couple messages hidden on the website that we're going to look at in this video that are going to go very deep, guys. So get trippy with us. Subscribe if you are new. Hit the like button. That is much appreciated. Let's get into it, Mike. Here we are at the highest point in Los Santos. Let's bring up the Epsilon website. We're going to have to type it into the search I find. It is pretty cool how they have an entire internet that is, within the game. Like, it's one of the, the many things that makes GTA by far the deepest gaming experience.
Definitely how you can access your phone wherever you're at, whatever you're doing pretty much. And you can just go right on there, deposit money, buy something, whatever you want to do.
Deposit money within thin air.
No, it's pretty cool.
I'm surprised more games haven't done something like this.
Exactly.
So let's go to the beliefs and practices page. And if you go to the 12 tenets of Kiflam, something I know you go by every day, Mike.
Absolutely.
The 12 tenets of Kiflam.
What would I be without the 12 tenets of Kiflam?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I need this in my life.
Well, look at this one. Number 4, we all come from the same tree. It's interesting. You can see how the Epsilon, I don't know if they're worshiping trees, but they seem to have them in a very high regard. Well, if you go down to number 9, look at this, guys. Trees talk, but only some people hear them. Now, at first you may hear that and you may think, what the heck? What are they even talking about? Well, what if I told you that all trees are living beings and, they're living just as much as us humans and the rest of the animals. They adapt and they live just like any other living form here on Earth, Mike. I mean, what do you think when you initially hear that? Is that completely crazy?
I mean, it's not completely crazy, no. I mean, we're taught in biology class that plants are, cells made out of cells. So they have to be living to be able to be made out of cells. So, because the cells are, in a sense.
Yeah, I like how you put that, because if you do kind of simplify it to something where we all probably learned in even elementary school, some of our earliest classes, that plants are living, of course, right? They have to grow, they need things to survive just like everything else on the planet. But it kind of goes a step beyond that as well, if you can look at it from the Epsilon perspective, that they talk, and in that way, they also listen. Here's an article by BBC Earth. It says plants can see, hear, and smell and respond. Plants perceive the world without eyes, ears, or brains. Understanding how can teach us a lot about them and potentially a lot about us as well. So as we know, plants breathe in carbon dioxide and produce oxygen. So it's basically the opposite of us. That's why we need them to exist. We breathe in oxygen, creating carbon dioxide, and they do the opposite. So even though they are a living organism, they pretty much need us. It's this mutual existence.
Correct.
Now, the thing is, when we look at trees and really any plants, we don't really look at them as living like us or animals, because they don't talk, they don't make any sounds, but they do communicate. It's been scientifically proven that they communicate with each other. They can basically move resources to help each other grow. We already know that they move throughout the world and grow and exist where they can flourish. That's pretty much one of the basis behind these plants to begin with. So it just says plants, according to Jack C. Schultz, are just very slow animals. I know we're just getting into it, but what's your first thoughts about that, Mike? Plants are just very slow animals?
Well, yeah, I mean he's right in a way about that. Basically, they grow very very slowly, but they move in the sense that they grow and they do grow towards sources of water and things like that. So obviously they're built for survival.
Look at this quote. It says, "A Beethoven symphony is a little consequence to a plant, but the approach of a hungry caterpillar is another story." Now, the reason why it says that is because scientists have done projects where they have put recordings of the sound of a caterpillar munching on a leaf, and a plant, of course, and the plants go into a defensive mechanism. So they basically have proven that the plants listen. And another thing that's been proven is you can put a recording of water below the plant because the roots are going to naturally go towards the water. Well, the plants will go towards the recording. So they hear the water, even though it's not really water, they're trying to grow towards it, the roots. It's really just a recording. They can listen for that. It shows you that the plants can hear. And that's what people don't take into account, Mike. I mean, what if I told you the plants right outside the door are listening to you and possibly, kind of figuring out what you're up to?
Some gardeners, that sing to their plants, they play classical music for their plants, things like that, and they truly believe they say they get better fruits out of them, but and they just produce better, they stay alive longer, and I've heard it from a lot of different gardeners, and I live in Florida here, and there's plenty of people that do it around here. They used to grow orange trees, all sorts of crazy stuff, so there's definitely some truth to it. Now, maybe some species are more tuned in than others.
Look at this quote. "Researchers have begun to find repeating patterns that hint at deep parallels with animals." You guys have probably heard of Venus flytraps. There's also meat-eating plants, and in this case, you can see that the plant is trapping and eating a bee. It shows you that plants are pretty ruthless, Mikey.
Yeah, definitely. It's crazy here to watch as this wasp or bee, whatever it is, goes for some food. It looks like it's sugar here that it's going for, and then boom, all of a sudden that sugar turns out to be some sort of adhesive that sticks him to the plant and sends him to his death.
Admiral, we have enemy ships in Sector 27.
It's a trap!
Here's the Wikipedia page for carnivorous plants. Now, they do eat small animals like mice, but most of the time we think of insects like flies. So you have the plants that eat meat, Mike, and then you also have plants that can poison you, like poison ivy. So it shows you that these plants can attack and they have defense mechanisms. Scientists have discovered that these plants can communicate, and they even communicate with some insects. What if they communicate against us?
That wouldn't be good. But they need us, and we need them, so I don't think that's going to happen.
But there's also fungus. Fungus actually breathes in oxygen, just like us. So technically, they can use the fungus, who they also communicate with. Talking about plants communicating with fungus somehow, maybe there is ways for the plants to turn against us. Keep in mind, plants have the same follicles that can be found in our ears, so they can hear us. They could be plotting against us. It seems like you think that there's no chance that that could even happen.
No, I mean, you think about it, it's very simple. You think about it, plants don't have a brain, so they can't process the information that they're hearing. So they're not going to understand something that is said. Neither are they going to understand, something that a human understands. Now, maybe a vibration, something like that, maybe that is something they can pick up on, but
As you mentioned, music maybe would almost kind of give them good vibes in a way.
yes, or maybe something with louder noise will be a harder vibration, hence the plant going into a stress mode, a defense mode per se, thinking it's being attacked.
So you
I
think it's about the brain. They don't have a brain, so maybe they can't process information. They have these natural instincts that all living beings actually have.
That's correct.
But it could be the brain that separates the animals from the plants. That's interesting, but I still look at them as being alive. and the way they talk to each other, you can eat meat, and that cow, that pig, whatever you eat, that's obviously dead. You're eating it now that it's been cooked, but you could be eating plants while it's still alive. When you eat salad, it could be screaming out in a way. Apparently it is. That's what they say. Plants are screaming as you bite into it, and some plants know when you're eating them.
I don't know about that one. The crunching of lettuce is the screaming of lettuce. I feel terrible. But add some dressing to that shit, and
It definitely makes you think about vegetarians because they think they're doing the right thing by not eating meat. But in actuality, plants are just as alive as anything else.
well, if you think about it, they're also more important than certain animals too, in the sense that they provide oxygen for us to be able to breathe. Definitely interesting there, but I don't know, man. As far as the plants hearing themselves getting eaten, and everything. I don't know. It's just a little far fetched.
Plants
I
are
don't know.
listening, they're adapting just like everything else.
If that were the case, then plants would have taken over the earth thousands of years ago, and we would
What
not
about maybe the Ice
exist.
Age? That's probably
So,
their weakness.
No, I mean, come. There were huge plants that we have found fossils of. There were some crazy plants back in the prehistoric days, and these plants, they were eating like dinosaurs that were half the size of us.
Why did the Epsilon mention trees? They say they can talk, but only some people can hear them. Does it have something to do with the fact that we have to coexist in perfect harmony along with trees and all of the plants of the earth? You also have this golden tree. This is one of those glitches that you would think that Rockstar would have taken out of the game, but they've never fixed it. There's other things they do take out, but for some reason this golden tree remains. Does this have something to do with the Epsilon? I don't know, Mike. What do you think about the whole situation?
I don't know. Could mean something. You never know with the Epsilon. Very mysterious.
It sounds crazy at first. I know the whole, plants are listening, maybe they can hear you, and they're developing around us. It sounds pretty ridiculous, but it's the truth, guys. And the Epsilon seem to know this. It could be something big with the whole mystery behind them. Definitely let us know what you think in the comments section below. Stay tuned because we have some huge Easter egg live streams planned, so hit the notification button. That'll let you know whenever it begins. Mike, we got to get you to join up for one of our upcoming GTA 5 playthrough live streams.
Absolutely ready to go, man. At any time, just let me know. I'm down, man. Absolutely.
I'll put a link to Mike's Twitter in the description as well if you guys want to hit him up. With that said, thanks for joining up, bro. We'll catch you guys in the next episode. As always, make sure to stay trippy, my friends.